Hi, my name's Steven. This is Tradisode by Day Trader Genius. In this episode, we're going to talk about all kinds of advanced ideas, basic ideas, and how to actually practice and get good at it, because the ultimate goal is for you to be trading and living the lifestyle that you want. The real 4-hour work week. It's actually possible. So keep in mind, we're going to be doing an advanced trade at the end of this. Take your notes, go into replay with zero risk, and practice. Practice until you can feel trades, until it's second nature, and that's it. So without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome, this is Day Trader Genius. My name's Stephen Wright. This is Tradisode 103. So let's get to it. The market is just open. I'm gonna have to make sure that all my charts are on 1 minute per candle. And now we can start our pre-trade analysis. Now, usually what we're going to find here is a couple different things. First, it's usually done before the market's open. So we have about 6 minutes. That's a very good rule that applies to every day trader. Just wait for the first 6 minutes. We got to let that overnight craziness settle. Okay, give us a chance here. I mean, we're talking about trading and doing something pretty amazing when you actually look at it. So today, here's the SPY. It's gapped up. Hey, we're getting there. It's looking pretty good, but we're not at all-time highs. Well, let me show you what I'm talking about. We're getting there. So what is the high right here? The H says 286.63. So let's go ahead and find 286.63. Could break above that today, but we do expect some resistance. So we'll see how it goes. So we got our analysis done. It's pretty easy, right? 286.63 done. You know what? Let's go ahead and mark that. I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So I'm going to hit Alt, and I'm going to go to that very 286.63. You know what? We can't get it on this chart. We're going to have to get it on this chart. This is the weekly chart, by the way. Alt, click. Okay. Let's do it a different way. Alt, click. Then we'll go to our targets, and we're going to just adjust them. So where are we at here? Targets, the one that looks like a target. Okay, so these don't actually mean anything. This is from training. So 286.63, hit enter. Now that's a very important mark for us. So we got this right here. If it breaks out on the upside, outside of the risk zone, which is this orange, we're going to be ready for it. But we're also going to be ready for powerful moves in either direction when we get near that. So keep that in mind as well. All right, so here we are. Let's take a look at Facebook. It's been pretty good the last couple days. Let's get rid of this. 10-minute chart again today. We're going to see how it goes. Okay, so we have a little bit of a baby gap up, but look at all this space. Wow. Okay, so we're right in this area right here of congestion. In the past, we're on 185 right there. So next one up, looking at RA. So if we get above RA, we're probably going to hit 190 today. If it goes up, if it goes down, we're going to look at probably coming down to 185 and playing around there. If it breaks below 185 on a red, it shifts to a red day, we're probably looking at 180. So again, guys, multiples of 5. Not difficult, just use common sense and practice. Practice, you're going to get it right. If you don't practice, you're never going to get it. There's the secret of the day. Okay, so let's take a look at this volume today. You can see a lot of the stocks have really good volume, really good situation over here on the market. So I'm pretty happy with what we've got here. So this is a pretty good start to the day. We've got some good action going on here. So we can do a little bit of shopping. It's pretty funny. I think it's funny. All right, so we're going to keep our eye on Facebook. You know what I'm going to do? Control H. I'm going to mark it. So I'm going to extend this out. You're going to see it here in a second. There it is, D%. We got a nice little purple mark. That is Control H, Control Highlight. Let's see what Tesla's up to. Tesla's playing around. It's one up and it's come back down. Okay, so not really interested in that kind of stuff. Nvidia, on the other hand, I am looking good. All right. So let's look at it on this scale. See where we are. We just broke out, it looks like. Now let's go to the other scale. Just broke out, so we're looking good. So maybe 260 today if we get a really good green day. It's possible. We've seen it happen in the past, and it looks like an average day for Nvidia is pretty clean in one direction or the other. And I can tell that by looking at the other charts. So when people are happy, they go for it. When people are sad, they like to sell it. So I'm going to keep that in mind as we move forward with Nvidia. Let's mark that one as well. Control H. So now we have two markers in the D%, and we're just going to follow along. Let's check out Netflix too. Netflix is good to go, sitting above 350, 355 currently, so got already some good action on the filters. 360 is not too far away, right up here with RB and the risk zone. It's going to be, it could happen in one candle, and that makes it a little bit more of a risky move. It's really good to have those things all in the same area sometimes, but when they're a little bit spread out like this, it can be a little difficult to gauge what kind of risk level you're in, which means you're already migrated towards high risk. That's not our style. All right, so let's keep an eye on Facebook. So we're looking at 190 being the trade. So from here to 190, that will be our trade if we get it. Now we got to have other conditions primed for us to make that trade. So we're going to have to wait for them. But good thing we practice patience, right? Exactly. Now, generally speaking, the market, keeping the market we always have to look at every trade through the lens of the market. So imagine when you get your trading goggles on, those goggles keep the market right in front of your face. Imagine a heads-up display in a car. That is what you need to have the market. You need to put those market indicators on that heads-up display, and that's over here. And it's very, very important. Okay, so not getting a lot of selling going on right now. It's taking a little bit of a break, so that's actually a pretty good thing. Not a lot of volume. Remember, LVDC, low volume, don't care. Okay, so we're looking at the market over here. It's breaking out to a high. It's still in the risk zone. It's not really that convincing, but keep in mind, we're getting near those sorry. Well, actually, we are getting near those all-time highs. So a little move here can translate to big moves on stocks because the leverage is higher. It takes a lot more money to move the SPY than it does to move stocks. So keep that in mind. I should say momentum, not money. Okay, so right here we got a clear, I don't want to call it a red trend yet because it's not. We have a clear flattening going on right here, but we're going to find this is some good volume buying right here. We're going to find out where the support is, and we're also going to find out if this is going to end up being a green day or not. If it is, it's got potential to go up, again to 190 at least. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's keep an eye on some other stocks too. Okay, so we just had a breakout on Baidu. Baidu's pretty red. It looks like a breakout on the bottom side. Got some good volume here. and just got a Y point SCs right there, but 225 is a big price, so it's going to be hard to beat that, especially going against the market. So I want to find something going with the market. Tesla's looking not bad, but we got a pivot right up here, so that's real dangerous. We'll just go ahead and write that one off for the day until something gets past the pivot or clearly the market turns red or something. Nvidia's holding, so those are really the stocks I'm looking at today, is a Facebook and Nvidia. So now you can see we have K-band on the red side, and let's find out if we get support at the opening price. Now keep in mind, let's go ahead and amplify that lens that we're talking about. So the market is up, it's high, it's really up there. And Facebook was doing that not too long ago, and then all of a sudden it had a massive gap down because of some internal company stuff, not because of the market. So then it's starting to come back. Now, if you're an investor with hundreds of millions of dollars in Facebook, you woke up the next morning and you weren't the one who created this, what kind of feelings, what kind of analysis are you going to be doing? Because you're probably getting quite a bit of pressure from your boss, or just internal pressure to say, oh my gosh, I had this much money and then I lost a lot, but now it's coming back. So what do you do? So you always got to put your mind in the mind. You got to put yourself in the shoes of the people that can actually make these type of moves happen. Ask yourself that question. What would you do if you had $100 million in Facebook, or you had $100 million to put in or take out of Facebook? It's not just Facebook, it's every stock. So we'll keep our eye on it. I don't think it's unrealistic to either go all the way up to 190 or down to 185 today, depending on what the situation is. So we have good volume, decent buying, decent selling. Took less volume to cover more distance on the downside than it did on the upside. So that indicates that we may get a down day. But it did gap up. So we're going to let it play out. You know, oftentimes on gaps, you have to wait a little bit. You don't want to be too quick to get in, because, well, if it gapped up, that means there's action. And if someone's sitting there with a lot more money than you and decides to make some move, and you're on the other side of that move, you're going to pay for that. So let it happen. Be patient. Okay, so it looks like we've got support at 187 right here. So far, it's not telling me that it's an abundance of support. In fact, I'm kind of seeing the opposite. I'm seeing a break in selling, but I'm not seeing buying. So this may be turning back into a red situation. We're going to know very soon. There's the red. Okay, so again, look, you cannot look at this from an optimistic point of view. Let me show you what I mean. We started right here at the opening price. Went down, went up, came down. It's right where it started. What does that tell you? It tells you that people don't know whether they should get in or get out of this stock. That means it's falling in the high risk category. Now, we're going to do some cycle trading here because it's looking pretty cyclical. When people buy, they buy. When they sell, they sell. Relatively, the trends are following through today, so that's good. But you need to know what happens at this opening price. And again, looking at your heads up display for your market, it's not moving. It has gapped up, but it's not moving. So we got to keep that in mind. anything you do now falls in the realm of speculation and gambling, more towards gambling. Okay, pretty good volume turnaround right here with a doji. The market's doing nothing still. That's fine. We don't really need it to do much. We're getting a cyclical market right here. 187's proven to be support before. Maybe it'll be resistance here. We'll see. Remember, low volume, don't care. You can sit here and trade non-stop, but it's going to create a lot of bad habits and probably lose yourself somewhere along the way. It's better to just wait for the right moment, get in, get out, call it a day. Just got J-stop, trend line. There's two other ones that we need. Well, you don't need them, but they're very good to have. Background highlight and K-band. They're all present right here in this downtrend. Ideally, you would like them to be present in an uptrend or in any trend that you trade. So these are very, very powerful indicators. If you haven't discovered the power of when they're all working together for you, I highly suggest that you get into replay and go practice with them, because you'll notice that every single good trend has those four things in common. So look, we got a situation where it looks a little cyclical, and then now it's turning around, but we already knew that this was going to be a point of decision, 187 on the dollar, because we got a little indication right here that it was support, and then that support broke down. And now we know that it tried it again, and now it's breaking down. So we just broke below. We got a Y point right here. Let's check out and see if we can break below that. And ultimately, we're going to need to break below the risk zone for us to be looking at a downward trend. Let's take a look at the market. Market just went below the opening price, but it's still not outside that range. 945 bottom right here. Okay, so let's see what happens. Good volume. Small breakout. And I would say that it's a little unclear as to where this thing's going to get support due to the market being generally good. So these sell-offs, well, they're not that convincing at this point. It could change, and we'll be ready for it. Okay, so we're looking good over here, but we're not looking good over here or here. That's the basket and the SPY. So it looks like it was going down and took a little bit of a support right there at the 945 bottom on the SPY. Same thing on the basket. And now we're getting a doji here. See that the market is the most influential force when you're talking about the bigger stocks like Facebook. Okay, so we got clear support right here, 952. Looks like you got good support right here. Shifting to green, still red over here. Well, we're yellow, but generally speaking, red. And again, we're still in that area where we don't know. Look how good this green trend was. Obvious. Too bad it was inside the 936 area timeline, and hit a doji right when we were thinking about looking at it seriously. This is not obvious. This is not enough support. what this means is more accurately, the selling has stopped and smaller buyers are controlling the price. But when you look at it, there's a tendency for the sellers to control this stock. Control meaning their influence is having a greater impact than the buyers today. Now, earlier it was the buyers, then it shifted to the sellers. So the sellers are controlling the range of the stock more than the buyers. That means that there's probably more sellers out there right now. So let's see what happens at this opening price. Looks like the buyers are taking over on the SPY, but it's not great. It's okay. It's not great. Just got J-stop on the market. Just got J-stop on the stock. We may be doing a J-stop kind of trade. We will see. Okay, so we're getting power on the SPY. Main list looking good. Power not so good. It's okay. We just came out of a red cycle on the market. We got a baby doji here forming. Let's see what happens. Remember, those dojis, I mean, they don't, they mean things are changing. So you got to pay attention to that. Okay, so we're getting some more power on the market. Facebook has shown that there are some buyers. There definitely are some sellers. We're sitting around the opening price. So what do? You wait. What's the Dow up to? Okay, cool. We just got a breakout on the Dow. Let's go check it out real quick. Ooh, all right. Breakout. Is that an all-time? That's not an all-time. Okay, there we go. So we're looking good. We just broke out above this. Next price will probably be 57.5, where we get some good resistance if it continues going up. All right, good to know. So Facebook, back to Facebook. Not getting a whole lot of action here. Let's check out Nvidia. See how that played out. Nice and cyclical as well. Same thing here. 20-day break above. Good green trend in the beginning of the day. Good selling, flat, and then selling. And now we're getting some pretty good green momentum here. Just got J-stop, K-band, trend line, and we're growing in volume. So not bad. Okay, so I think that this is probably something to be considering if we get support here. So we got a good situation on the market with the SPY. It's about to break out above its 945. If it does, and those other things align, this may be a good entry for a quick trade because we're in the risk zone. You don't want to be doing that ideally. Ideally, you want great upward or downward outside of the risk zone. Those are your safest, best trades. Okay, so let's see what happens at the $56, 56.11. Okay, so you can see right here, went up and it came back down. Let's see if it stays up above. It's getting close to the hour mark, which is very important. So we may choose to stay out of this one because we're so close. We'll see. Again, quick trades if we do. Okay, we just got a new high, right? Almost. There's the new high. Okay. 58, no one's selling at 30. Okay, good. So it's a little bit late. No problem. We're getting good. Everything's good to go. So let's see if it comes back down. Gives us a doji. Let's see if it supports at 256. And then we'll maybe see something obvious here. Yeah, okay, so it's hitting some resistance. You can see when every time it goes up, it comes right back down to about 256. So 228. All right, there we go. Through 31. Does it break out? Oh. Okay, so we're getting really close to that hour. So unfortunately, we gotta push this one into the don't care category. Too risky. But we are getting some good information. We're always prepping for our trade. Don't just try to find a trade. This idea is very critical. Try to find the conditions that set you up for success and let the trade reveal itself to you. That's something really important to write down. There we go. So it fell back down to 256. Let's see how that affects the price. Oh, all right. There we go. The volume fell off, and there's not anyone really doing anything about it right now. So good news is we got a nice green trend on the market, and it actually did get above the 945 top. So if it reaches support and takes off again, we could have something good. Just like we're getting support right here at 256. There we go. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. Let's go ahead and get ready. Power is increasing. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So we're filled. We are doing that because the resistance on the downside is showing less and less, and the support on the upside is showing more and more. So we're here, we're in the trade, and we got our 2 minutes going, and that's it. So we're going to need to break out above the 35. We're going to need to hold above 35 and maybe push up. So we're looking at getting to the call zone right above 256.50, and that will probably be a good place for us to consider exiting. And that's it. But again, it's a cyclical day. It's one of those times that you just want to be ready for anything, and that's it. Okay, 50. Let's go ahead, and if we get that again, it just hit 50, and we're going to let it mellow for a second because it just hit 50 cents. And we're going to see if we remain that support, then we may get out at 50 cents if it goes up again. If not, maybe it'll breach and hold. So we'll find out here in a minute. It did go up to about 5% during that trade, so I'm expecting some resistance here. Absolutely. Now, we'll see what happens here. "30 seconds. So we're having a battle around 256. 10 seconds left on the timer. We're going to see how this is impacted here by the $256 mark in the market. Market looks like it may have shifted on us. So let's see where we find support. So right now it's just a little bit unsure. So we're getting a little bit of support here. And this was obviously a big sell that was set at 256.50. It was sitting there and it executed as soon as it hit the price. So that's to be expected on these big prices. You need to really consider what's happening and why it's happening. And you're going to gain that experience through practice. So it looks like we got a little bit of a green support coming back into this trade. And let's see what happens if it gets to 50 cents again. If it breaches and holds, we could get a better run. If it doesn't, then I'm just going to GTFO. This trade is the timing it wasn't great, so we'll see what happens here. Okay, so there is some buying, but it's not really great buying because the low volume. So we're going to find out how it plays. So we're back at 5%, 50. All right, we almost got it again. 49, 48, 47, 55. Let's see. 40. If it goes down, let's see what we got. Starting to get a little bit of support, it looks like. You could see the arrow going back and forth between decisions, so we're ready. Let's just put it that way. Okay, we just breached 52. Nice and calm, relaxed, it's all good. Okay, it's not taking off, so what we're going to do is we're going to get out. So I got my order set at like 5
Order
something.
partially filled.
So
Order filled.
there we go. So it did breach above 5.55, and now it's actually the timing was a little bit off on that one. Hey, that's okay. Who cares? Guess what? We made good money. Now I'm going to show you. Let me see. Let me do the math for you real quick. Let's see what we got. I think we got about 5. Okay, look at that. Now we had the battle, and looks like that battle was won by the buyers. Good. I love seeing trades follow through when I have an idea. I don't care that I got out. Let's see. I'm going to show you what kind of percentage we made here. So we bought at 199 and we sold at 211. So what's the difference there? We got 12 divided by what we got in at, 199. That's 6% on the money. Okay, 6%, and that was in 4 minutes. The timing was a little bit off, so we got in here. We held through this bit right here, and the reason why is because we saw support at 256. You've got to practice this, because if you hold through these moments and you're not paying attention, it can get really weird really quickly when you go back and you review. We had the 2 minutes going, but we held past 2 minutes. So that was because the market was supporting our move during this time. And it went up to 256.50, and it held there for a second, and it stalled. Now the reason why we got out was when you go to the SPY, that same time, the SPY was not reaching new highs. That's why we got out of that trade. Where was it? NVIDIA. There we go. So NVIDIA's covering good ground, and it went up and came back down again. It's probably going to keep going for a little while. But the reason why we got out is because the SPY was not doing the same thing. It was going flat. So that tells me that my support is pivotal. I don't like pivotal. I like, good, easy, low risk trades. Okay, guys, that's Tradisode number 3. take it, write down, get those notes, and realize that what I just did here was an advanced trade, and you should not try to replicate that trade. You should try to practice looking at things from a support and resistance standpoint. And remember, keep the heads up display of the market going on and on and on. Never take it off. If you enjoyed this episode of Tradisode, then let us know. Put it in the comments. Like, follow our page. Don't forget that interacting with this is critical. If you want to see more of something, let us know. Also, consider this video in particular is an advanced application. It was a demonstration in the live market of what's possible with the system, even in moments when the market's not doing extremely well, and you can still make money regularly. And you see that back to back to back to back over and over and over again. But do not go out there and try to put a bunch of money on doing this and see if it works. Don't do that. That's what replay is for. That's what paper trading account is for. You can connect our system to a paper trading account. Hey, why don't you just do that? Do all your testing with no risk. Okay, thanks for watching.